I hope everybody's doing. Dave here with Affordable Door and Gate. Working the night shift. Yes, yes. You say you want to become a owner, huh? You want to be entrepreneur. You just want different form of slavery. I don't know if you're gonna stay here. I'm trying to get you set up on the tripod here where you won't flip over on me. But otherwise, I hope you're doing well. You're more welcome to ask any questions. I just felt like I got to bring some concrete bags in. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Figure to help the guys out. This is kind of a mess here. Let me show you. We got a mess here from the last job. It just kind of got dumped off from the tow truck and stuff, and I just want to get it cleaned up. It's gonna go bad. Concrete. I don't know if it's running about now. I just buy it in the skid form. Oh, and if you jump in here, if you wouldn't mind, give it a like. Just helps bring more people in, more conversation. You might lower. The tripod's not the best. I need electrical tape. Oh, and let me know where you're at and what the weather's like. And do ask questions. I'm here for you. I do got to find a solution. No, I don't want to touch the tailgate because the older I get, 80 pounders are not becoming anymore. And what I mean is the 80-pound bags. They got 60. I just figured this out because I had a little variety the other day. They got 60 and they got 50 pound. So, but the 80s are just a little bit on the much side, man. I'm telling you. And I know I'm crying. I'm being a baby. But it's just very much. What's up, Mr. Sky? Hope you're doing good over there. Woo! California, 107, man. What's the dew point in that? I'm just curious. Oh. Sky jumps right in right there. He's like saying cheers. So cheers back. I brought out the Bubba. I tell you what, I don't know if you're ever looking for. I really like this. It's actually called Bubba. I really like this thing. It stays cold. The only thing I don't like is if you're in the hot sun. This black, it gets hot. I mean, it gets so hot you can't even like touch it hot. Like you go to drink and you're like, oh. One more. Good bag. I think that was the last bag. There was only a few of them left. I figured I'd just get it cleaned, guys. Got it nice and we got 4 bags? 4 bags. 4. Now, just a helpful tip. If you're ever doing concrete, I don't recommend that concrete for above ground. Like, let's say you're doing a sidewalk, you're doing a repair. I don't recommend it. I'm not a concrete expert by any means, but I think it doesn't have enough Portland in it, is the way I get it. And without enough Portland, it kind of crumbles with the weather. So, like, let's say you got, off your eave of your building or something, the sidewalk's right there. It's gonna crumble. It seems like it's good for ground, in the ground where you don't see it. That's what the yellow bags are for. But I like using the white bags, the 5,000 mix, if I have to do above ground, or I'm doing a surface like we cut into asphalt, and then we're smoothing it out to make it look nice for a commercial job. I like those in concrete. That's just me. But if you know any more about concrete, please put it in the comments, because, like I said, it's one of those things. It's a real hate-love relationship. I love concrete, but man, I hate working with it. It's heavy stuff. It's kind of messy, but I like how long it lasts. I like the concept of it. I like something that's going to outlast me, which is really nice. I always remember my Uncle Ron. Roof, driveways, whatever. I don't want to do it again. And now that I'm over the hill, I can definitely see why they do that. It's always weird how they put this, like, I never know. I think they do it for like at the store, but they always put like this sample bag in here where it's like empty. It's empty, like they fold it. I think it's on the outside if I remember right. I think. High strength. 80 pounds. 80. Oh, there we go. 80. Big stuff. Man, look at these guys. They must be busy, man. Got all kinds of food in here. Got a skid in here. I got more stuff myself to go in here. There's something in that bag. I don't know what. If it's water or sand or what it is. It's got a little weight to it. Whew. So, Sky, what have you been working on? What's the projects you got going? Just curious. Or let me know if any other guys are here. What are you guys working on? You guys working on anything? Got some garage doors? You got, I haven't seen, is it Will? I haven't seen Will in a while. I need some updates from Will. Will was, he was doing the gate. I don't know how the gate turned out, Will. If you're here, let us know. Let us know, or let me know. Shoot me a text. I'm just curious how the gate turned out. Gate operator. He had kind of a cluster, I ain't gonna lie. It was something to do with, it was on the outside, had to put the cabinet. Oh, man, I just hope it turned out good. I just drove to Arizona for vacation. So are you at Arizona? Are you on vacation right now, Sky? Or are you back, or what are you doing? How long are you gone for? That's pretty sweet. I'd like to go back to Arizona. I went there a few times. The heat was definitely different. Like it's that dry heat, which is kind of nice. And what was weird about it was, I remember it was so much different than in Michigan. Like right now, like this sun crescent, which is actually really pretty. The camera doesn't do any justice. It's right there. I remember it'd be like right now, that sun crescent right now, you could feel, I mean, it felt like it dropped like 20 degrees. It's like that desert, what do they call it? That desert heat. And so all of a sudden you'd be like, I couldn't be out here like I am right now. I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's getting kind of chilly. Like I need to put a sweater on. Where like in Michigan, we don't get that weird, like it takes a while. Like I think it's going to get down to like 60 tonight maybe. But it won't be till probably midnight, 1, 2, 3 in the morning by the time you start feeling that. It's kind of like when I used to work at a shop. We it always felt good about the time you went in for first shift. You know what I mean? But then the sun was just coming up, and that's when it really stunk. But it was like the third shift guys, you know. I think the second shift guys had it the worst. I've worked all shifts, and second seemed like it was just a real, I didn't like second. I don't think I don't think I liked second. Second seemed like it was worse. Where the heck this big old rock come from? Walmart guy hit that. He'd tear his crap up. He says, New Mexico here. Ooh, nice. New Mexico. I think I drove through there. No, there it is. Lost you for a second there. The old internet gave out. Anyways, in New Mexico, they had a little snowstorm going. I tell you what, man. People over there didn't have tires for their stuff. He says, I'm home now. He says, stayed for a week in luxury apartment on golf course. Dang, come on, Sky. Send me some pictures, man. I want to see the golf course. Hook a brother up. Here we have Wi-Fi. I might go inside. Like I said, we'll see how it goes. Oh, man. How's everybody? How's business going for everybody? Everybody doing good? Everything staying busy out there? Yeah, I'm going to go into the air here in a minute. I got to get this, try to figure out this tarp thing before it goes, before we go, it's dark. feel though. I can feel it's got water in it. Eee, what to do with it? What to do with it? I just shove it off to the side. It'll be fine. Sometimes you got some doors that gotta go. They gotta go. We had some doors that were, when COVID was, maybe I shouldn't say that word, when that cough syndrome was going on. So we had a guy that normally puts a gun on us. And so we went ahead and got some 10 by 10s, 2 of them. Got one of them. Got another one here. But man, I tell you what, if somebody could invent a good way to keep doors outside without getting them, it does not, especially here in Michigan, we get the leaves, the pollen. I think that's a 16 by 7 too right there. That really needs to go. So I've been helping them out a little bit, doing some sales on it, right? You know, pushing them out of here, because you got to move that inventory, man. That stuff just can't sit around forever. It just goes stale. It goes stale bad. Whew. Anybody doing any resis? Anybody need any assistance out there in the world? Gonna be starting up. Got some questions, concerns. Should I get in the game? Should I not? Should I wait? I don't know what's gonna happen. Like I said, it's gonna be very interesting. You think Mr. T is gonna make it? Or are they gonna throw some curveball in there? Obviously, we see Mr. Biden step down, right? I don't think they've announced. Anybody got prediction who Kamala, what her vice is going to be? Vice? Is it going to be Michael? Is it going to be Whitmer? What do you think? Is it Gavin? Is Gavin one of them that might be? Gavin Newsom? I can't remember. Oh. Let me throw this skid in, then I think I'm done out here. I think. Yeah, we might walk that stuff back. I'm worried I lose internet. Another thing I've learned, if you're doing big jobs, right, is work smarter, not harder. I'll tell you a little story. So I comes with a lot of gray hairs. But I remember I had this guy that worked for me. He don't work here no more. And I remember I knew I had to send him out to the job, right? Because I was swamped, just totally busy. And so I told him, I said, let's head out there, just go out there. Now, of course, this job was probably around 45 minutes to an hour away, one way. And I said, go out there, just, like basically do something. Just go out there. If people got questions, if you need to set stuff up, just make something happen. And I don't know what it was, but sometimes when you're under pressure, things can snap. And knew he was going to call me at some point, and he was going to run on concrete. Put in the poles. I think we did the majority of we had, there was a Mexican crew there, and I asked to help us out, and they said for like $500, they would do like all this extra work. And I was done. I was like, by the time we try to get concrete here, and, they knew what they were doing, were really good at what they were doing. So let's do it. They were making us pads for barrier for a FedEx location. And so anyways, I get the call, right? And it's, maybe some people get this, you know, but you get that kind of like that. Hey, what's up? I'm out of concrete. And it's like, it's almost like that, like thug, like throw it in your face, like, ain't nothing I can do. I'm gonna have to sit here all day now. No concrete. I mean, no problems. Like, hey, would you like me to go get some and just reimburse me? I got a little bit of money with me, or, you know, come up with some kind of solution, right? It's just like, hey, out of concrete. And so I had this epiphany where I was like, I thought, you know what? I said, you know what? There's a Lowe's out there. And oh, hey, by the way, we got 3 likes. Thank you for the likes. Just helps bring more people in, more conversation, more fun. And so anyways, and I see, is it Julian? It says, peace. What's up? And what do we got? YouTube. Oh, that's a cool name. Versus Kyle on there. It says, hi. Hello. Hope you're doing good. So anyways, this guy, right? He's like, I need concrete. I'm like, all right. Now there's a Home Depot right down the road. I knew that. And so then I realized, I think because I was in there, I heard something about it one day. And they can do, I think it's called Will Call. So I was already ahead of them, right? I already called there. I ordered like whatever, tags of concrete. And I paid for it over the phone with a credit card. So it's, oh. And I mean, it was kind of weird because he kind of like felt like he kind of locked up. He was like, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, you are out of concrete. And he's like, what do you want me to do? You want me to come back to the shop? I'm like, heck no. I don't want you to come back to the shop and get a business card and go to this. Like, I mean, that's all day, like the whole day shot then. And I was like, no. I was like, you know, there's a Home Depot right down the road. I was like, I already called them. There's 10 waiting for you. Already paid for, right? That's the key. Already paid for. You just need to take that company truck and drive on down there and go pick them up. And you know what? It's really, 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 really nice. If you really want them to, they probably will load them for you. Like you could just, oh, my back, I had surgery, or my back's hurting today, boys, you know, and you could probably walk and go grab a pop and they'll load it for you. You know what I mean? You might have to wait a little longer. You might not get the best service, but, you know, it might be busy. But they'll load it for you. Does it better than that, buddy. You know what I mean? And I remember it seemed like he kind of heard like that silence. Like, oh, I don't even know how to process this. Like, I want to basically complain about something and have a reason basically not to work. And I'm like, nope, it's all set, bud. It's all set. It's all set. I don't know if any of you guys have experienced. You ever experienced? I've had this where these guys will literally, I've had them. That's why we got a fuel tank, right? That fuel tank all started right there. Right there. That fuel tank started because we would have guys. We had the fuel cards, right? The fuel man cards. And fuel man cards worked out kind of nice. Thought they were going to be a little more nicer, let's just say. Like, I thought, you know, because they say you can track your miles. You can track what you're getting per MPG, you know, miles per gallon. You know, like, wow, that sounds pretty nice. But what they don't tell you is that guys will start finding out that they can buy windshield wipers, they can buy other things with this fuel man card. And then when they decide to, maybe intentionally, maybe not intentionally, they get out of their vehicle and they put it in their wallet, right? And so then what they do is then it kind of does a Houdini. A guy like me or somebody else, another employee or whoever, jumps in a vehicle and come to find out there's no fuel card in there that's supposed to be with that vehicle. So how many times, you know, you tell them whatever, hey, where's the fuel card for this? This is normally your truck, but sometimes once in a while we bounce around, you know, oh, well, yeah, geez, it's in my pocket, I forgot, you know, and then it's like, you always get these one-off charges, right, once in a while, and you're like, what the heck is this charge, right? And then you got your wife, you know, after it's 8 o'clock at night, like, why? We're in Michigan. Why is there a charge in California for $200 for fuel? And you're like, shoot, man, I don't know. Like, so fuel cards have to go. Fuel cards no good. So what I would do, and I literally had a guy do this once. We used to drive a lot farther. drove, right? He didn't fill up in town. Now I'm a kind of guy, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a kind of guy that likes to fill up like close to home type of thing, right? Close to the shop. Like I like my day to be I'm good for the day. Because then if I run into any problems, right? The fuel card didn't work. We just had a big internet downage, right? Shortage, whatever you call it. Down. Yeah. You know, I'd rather find out now I'm close and I can just drive back and go, hey, we got a problem. Like the thing's not working. We got to come up with another solution. We got to get, you know, pull out cash or whatever. So he drives all the way across the state of Michigan. Then he decides to call, right? And it's fuel card won't work. Okay. I don't know why. Not like we have not paid our bill. It's like, I don't know. I've tried it outside, took it inside, it's declined. And I mean, just the you can really grind on you, right? You know, just the you know, it works. So then you politely, you know, you go, okay, do you by chance have any cash? Nope. Do you by chance have a credit card or, you know, a debit card, something, you know? Nope. I ain't got no money. None. Well, how'd you buy cigarettes and buy that pop? Yep, that was last. Oh, man. So, it's interesting. It's very interesting. The fuel card started working for some reason. They rescanned it, and for some reason it started so he could get fuel. And I told the gentleman, I said, look, I said, make sure you fill that truck up before you leave town next time, so we don't run into this. Bah, bah, bah. So hence, fuel tank. You fill up at that. And what's nice about, you know, if you fill up the shop, right there, it's under camera. If there's any funniness, whatever, the thing doesn't it doesn't float away into somebody's wallet, which is nice. So those are just kind of some helpful little tips for you guys. That's all. Oh, get back to the skid here. So, for one, you might not know this, but concrete skids, they actually charge you, I think it's right around $15 per skid. So you got to pay that, right? If you go to like Lowe's or something, they charge you, but this place probably adds it in. I don't really care. I just add on. It goes to the customer, basically, $15. Drop in the bucket, right? Now, I found what I do is I find a local lumberyard company, and they drop it off on the job site with their own piece of machinery. That, especially if you got a bigger job, right? I'm just telling you this, so if you're doing skates, whatever. But, oh my gosh, I tell you what. But these are all things that you have to, in business, there is so much planning ahead. So much planning ahead. So much! Like, you don't even know. You don't even understand. Sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I'll calm down. But anyways, you got to do all this planning, right? There's some things that you got to get dropped off. You got to think days in advance. And once you do that, though, your life will be a lot better. And what I've learned when I used to do roofing, I used to get always, the guy that used to work for me, he used to always be like, why'd you get some shingles? You know why? Because I'm not about the shingles. I'm not worried about the product. I can take that back. I can call the company, whoever, Home Depot, they'll come pick it up, whatever, right? It's the labor. So labor is the biggest thing that is our challenge in the world, right? Because if you start getting guys that wander around, right, and they're like, hey, I can go home, right? Like, you guys got this. And you're like, not really. Like, dude, I'm dang, man. Like, I know I worked hard too, but you don't even understand. Like, you didn't even have mental stress on this. You guys should comment below. Do you think mental stress is worse than physical stress? I personally think mental stress is harder than physical stress because I've worked with numerous of people and I've dealt with these jobs where I've had bonds, I've had to get approval, I had to get the bid approved, I had to get the material list, I had to get everything, all these layers to make everything happen. And then I'll get like a guy out there and he's digging a hole. He's like, man, this sucks. I'm like, give me that pistol digger. I'm like, this is the easiest, best part right here is digging holes. I'm like, there's nothing to think about except for don't hit a wire. But you call misdig, right? But the mental stress can be very, very daunting. So anyways, get the stuff delivered. Do will call. Just some helpful tips. Much better. I figure since you guys aren't so chatty, I'm gonna get rid of some of these jugs. So if you got questions, throw them away. I'm gonna go through the jungle. Got a little bit of cleaning up here eventually. It needs to happen. Mother Nature is trying to put everything back in the ground. I know Tanner got he got a new trailer. We use these galvanized trailers because up in here, those trailers have held up pretty good. Oh, I gotta look for some chain link fence. I forgot about that. I gotta look for 8 foot tall. Sky, you still here? You gonna send me some pictures of that vacation? I want some of that golf course. Oh, Lord. Where do I put it? Here's some old Oscos, some parts. Old Osco operators in the boneyard. It's funny because back in the day, I used to have a fuel tank. These are numbers. Look at these. I don't think I put gallons. I must have just put amounts on here. It's back in the day. 2000, 13. What did I have? 13 up here? I think it was all 13. I made this little crib. I made it for our fuel tank at the time because we used to get like $100 a month, I think, in rewards for our fuel. It's pretty sweet. For Speedway seemed to be the best. Oh, I asked you guys where you're from in temperature. I think today we hit roughly about 80 today, but our humidity's up a little bit. So it's a little sticky, but it's not bad. Not compared to about 2 weeks ago, I think it was. Oh, man, it was about unbearable. I think next week's going to get nice and toasty again. Oh. Well, like I said, if you guys got questions, throw it up. We can talk about anything. Otherwise, I'll probably, once I get the jugs, I don't know, might skedaddle. We'll see how it goes. But thanks for being here. I hope try to reconnect. Sorry, I learned that trick from a half blind guy that used to work with me. You gotta use your nose. Anybody else ever use their nose when you got gloves on? Use your nose to connect or run the phone. Works pretty good. All these wonderful little tricks you're learning. Yep, there goes the sun. Another day gone, can't get it back. Otherwise, I hope you guys are having a great day. A great dang day. It's funny watching the thing bounce up and down. What other stories could I tell you? I'll show you this. This thing, it's got to go back inside. It shouldn't be sitting outside. The poor thing. But you ever see a little lift like this? These things. Whoa. Hopefully I didn't lose you. Those little guys work really nice. If you ever got to lift up like little roll-up doors, it's got a little crank on here. I got to use 2 hands. Ooh, I don't know if that's the weather getting to it. It's cracking. It's held up pretty good. It's a little tall for the shop. It fits, but you got to like jam it in there. And I bought that. I forget which job we were working on, but it's just a nice little helpful little crank. You can find them if you look for them. They're pretty inexpensive. Like I've seen them as low as like $500. I think I paid That one I had to do a little traveling. I think I paid $800 for that one. But they come in real handy because I'm all alone out here working by myself. Right here. Got a roll-up door like that. That'll help lift it up. Oh, man, those work nice. It's a lot easier on you. That one I think was a misorder. That's why that one's just sitting around. That one needs to go too. So much stuff needs to go. It's time to do a cleansing. That's what I say. Let's see here. We're up to 9. Oh, man. Like I said, don't forget, if you wouldn't mind, just tap that button. Like I said, it brings more people into the old algo. More funness. I just jumped on here, like I said, if anybody had questions or business or asking what's going on in the world. Otherwise, I hope you guys are doing great. It's weird, this guy across the street here. It's like Joe's. That guy, he just left a few minutes ago. He's a business owner. Man, I tell you what, business owners, they work some late hours sometimes because he normally leaves around 7:30. Tonight it was rough. It was almost 9, probably 8:45 time he left. I think they're always doing paperwork on like the car stuff. But it's just something to consider. One thing I would have never known about doing business is that it's almost like you put in double, you know? So if you're almost like the type that really doesn't like, there you go. I had to reconnect. I had to push the button with my nose. I'm so sorry. So unprofessional. But we're here. We're alive. Whoops. Whoopsies. One thing I noticed, I still think the economy is pretty soft, though. That's just my opinion. I don't know about your guys' area, but I've been noticing too a lot of deaths by their own hand people. Might just be our neck of the woods. I don't know, but it's sad. There's that's something you should never get that low. You know what I mean? Find help. It's sad seeing people do that kind of stuff because, man, especially some of the people they leave behind. Not good. Not good. Connect. There might not even be nobody here. Like I said, I'm used to it. I've walked this trail many times. Sometimes it's dark out. Normally I get a headlamp. Oh. But like I said, we'll help the guys out, get some stuff cleaned up for them. They got enough on their plates. Ooh. What else? Oh, I gotta still measure that fence. There's one slat I need. I don't know why it's just here all by itself. No phone. Stop it. Stop it. Oh yeah, this is a different style. See, this one's got the ribs. This one just sits in there by itself. I thought Cap said we had a bag of it though around here. I got a fence job coming up. I'm excited. I love the fence jobs. This one though, it's going to be a little more challenging because Oh, it's far away. But it's for a really good customer. And yeah, that's about all I can say with that. Long time, loyal, good customer. Might be almost so loyal. They've been with us almost from the beginning. I should get some weather seal for that door. Oh, should we get some weather seal? Let's get some weather seal. It's really crazy. I don't understand why Monday nights was so quiet when it comes to YouTube. If anybody's got any theories, because maybe it's not like Monday Night Football or something. So, let's see if this is what. Oh my gosh. Anywho, let's grab that. How am I going to get up there? How am I going to do it? We'll do it with the 8-footer. I always think Mondays, really, honestly, is, hey, Eric's here. Maybe I got somebody to talk to. I don't have to be all alone. What's up, Eric? How you doing? Did you see that Osco? I just had the Osco on there. The old commercial Osco. All right, let's see what we got here. Ooh, what size are you? 9 foot? Is that what that is? 9? We got 9 foot? 8. Well, I kind of need 10 foot. So what am I going to cut down? What size are you? 18? Oh, mofo. What if I don't want 18? Those are supposedly 7s, 9. Oh, Lord. Lord, help me. What are you? I didn't bring my flashlight. Oh. I didn't bring my flashlights. Oh, I can't see it. You're not going to make me pull it out, are you? No 10s. 7s. I don't know. He says, I just joined. I was showing the Osco. The old Osco. I'll show you again if you want. It's up to you. What is this? This is 16 foot weather top. 16. Next one. Of course, next one is not labeled. So I'm about ready just to... Oh, weather seal. It is like kryptonite. 16, another 16. Whatever, 16 is going to be, I think. This must be a package from something. I guess one-handed. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. Is there enough pieces? What do I need? 3? Too many in here? What do I got? I might got one extra. We'll see. Just want to get the customer set up for that one. I think they're doing a Saturday. Possibly. Saturday. What you got? What you got? Freeze says I was going. What you got? What you got? What you got? I was going sensor replacement on a Genie Pro Max. Ooh. And found something cool. Ooh. Well, let's share. Hey. That's pretty sweet. The old Pro Max, huh? Where did the tape measure hide off to? Mind me, I'm still here. I think I buried my tape measure. think. Not quite sure yet. So now I got to figure out how to make this 10 foot. Use the door. Cover the door. Bury the door. I'll get it close. The customer can just cut whatever. So they still get nasty. They get nasty. They just sitting outside. Just never hold up good. But like I said, let me know what you got. They got something cool with that Pro Max. This one I don't have to be too careful with because the door's already mounted. The door is it's going to need a little hand wash. Let's just say. Okay. Be nice to me. Be nice. Be nice. Be nice. So I'm just going to cheat and use the door section to give me a ballpark price here, or ballpark weather seal cut, in case you got to always prepare for the worst, right? Customer shows up. I have a picture somewhere. The customer showed up. They put it on top. I think it was 16x7 door. Put a 16x7 door on top of a Ford Explorer. It's pretty impressive. I was like, dang. It was almost like he kind of wanted to be like, you need a job? Like, because, dang, you did pretty good. They did pretty good. I ain't gonna lie. Wow. What does it say? Stuff in the what? Stuffed in the ceiling was a folder. Really? That had the owner's manual for the old door and opener from 1979. Dude. There's also service receipts that date back to 1997. Dude. You should take some pictures of that, and you should be sending those to me. That's cool. That's the stuff, man. I tell you what, that's like... I love that kind of stuff. Hold on. Let me get this weather suit. That's the stuff really cool like that. The old service, you know, that somebody had time to keep all those records is amazing to me. Sorry if I'm bouncing around a little bit. If I only had one more hand, if I was only three-handed, it's good enough. That'll be long enough. The choppy chop. You guys ever use these? These work really nice. I lost my tip. I gotta order another one because I don't know where the barrel went, but that's irritating. I don't like stuff not being complete. Ugh. Just go like this, right? Hopefully you can see that. Oh, let's get you set up here. Let's just get you set up. Well, it went pop and then it cuts it. Nothing too miracle-like, but it works good. My buddy that passed away showed me that one time. I was working with him. And he was like, here, use this. And I'm like, what is that? It's like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I'm always using like Sawzall and stuff. And you know, the Sawzall, some guys use skill saw. You should let me know what you do. But I like that because it takes no power, just muscle, baby. And that way, you know, if you run out of power, if you, I don't know, it's just nice to have options, you know. If I got to use a saw, I'll use a saw. If I got to use a, you know, Sawzall, that's fine too. I'm okay with that. But just to have something with a big knife like that and cut it, bam, bam, baby. He says, I'm going to send those to you after the stream. Perfect. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. That's awesome. Love seeing that kind of stuff, man. Those are some sweet pictures. Like I said, you got to make sure if you're out there, I can't tell you. It's kind of like one of those things, like I might say, you know, maybe you don't want to invest into like a super expensive vehicle and things like that. Everybody's at a different level, right? But one thing I feel like I can pretty much certainly say that is a must in business is probably like the biggest, baddest phone you can get for storage. So I decided I went with the iPhone because of FaceTime for 1, 2. But it had the biggest storage. It's expensive, right? It's very expensive. But I tell you what, the storage, like, I never can, like in business, I can never have enough. I just can never have enough storage. Like I can't ever have where I'm like, man, I wish I had a smaller phone. Or man, I wish this or that. Like it's like pictures, more pictures, video, pictures. Take it all, baby. Try to cut this piece one-handed. Ugh, I can't. And I got a mosquito biting me. Hold on, stand by. I have to look down for a second. There we go. It's down. It's down. But one thing I would tell you, not unless you're just starting, you know, if you're just starting, you don't got customers, then don't do it. Don't do it. Save your money for product. Save your money for repairs and all that. But if you're kind of into it, I don't even know what the cut, you know, I'd say like if you got like 20 plus customers roughly, you start getting there. Like go ahead. Like start, you need the phone, you know what I mean? Like it's everything. But one thing, I know this from a friend of a friend, let's say, right? I was just thinking of this, why it's kind of important to have probably a CRM system. Basically, if you lose your phone, everything's not stored on your phone. It's in the cloud. Notes, pictures. Because if you lose your phone, it goes in the toilet, goes in the lake, lose it hunting, you're gonna be really screwed. But you gotta have some customers for it. Tony, I miss you, brother. I hope you're doing good. Hi, Tony. They're going good in the hood. That's what I hope. For everyone. What's up, Scott? Over here. He says, how's it going, Mr. Freeze? Oh, yeah. It's going good. It's finally, you guys just wake up? Y'all taking a nap without me or what? I started a little early. Like I said, Mondays are normally kind of slow. I think everybody's kind of zonked. I don't know. You should let me know. Like I said, I have these things where I just come up with these ideas. I don't know if they're any good, you know, but I always like kind of think Mondays are like, people are like all just burned out in a sense. Like they're like, oh, back to the work week. I got to figure things out, you know, all this job. I got to get this going. So they're all just kind of, you know, burned out. Monday blues, I guess is what you call it. Trying to cover this door back up. Got a little sand on her. There we go. Hopefully it finds a new home. That would be nice. If it gets a new home, I won't cry. That's the whole point, right? What's we got here? So I'm always afraid that phone is going to fall in my pocket when mowing. That's awesome. I got I don't have it with me right now, but I got a nice holster because I don't like the clips. I don't know. I don't like the snap-in clips either. I don't know. I've had troubles or I just don't trust them or whatever. But anyways, my daughter bought me one for, I don't remember what day it was, for Christmas or whatever it was, birthday. but it's like a Velcro one, and it's kind of big and roomy. So my phone slips right down in it. And then it's even got a secondary clip, like one of those plastic clips. They squeeze on the side and it drops out the little clip. That thing works really good. And it doesn't seem to bother me where I think the plastic ones, what the problem was too is I've gotten maybe 1 or 2 pounds over what I'd like to be. And it will jab me, like when I'm sitting down. Maybe a little roll or something comes out. I don't know. And anyways, I just don't like it. I don't like it touch me. But this one, it's a little more loose. So it works really good. I really like it. But I also don't have to worry about the phone because, man, I tell you, you put it in the pocket. If I blank out, I should come back. I'm walking away from the building again. So if you guys are like, you left us. No, it's because we can send a man to them. That's amazing. I don't know how it let me resume. It kicked off. Totally kicked off. 100% kicked off. It just went right to my normal home screen. It was like, boof, you're gone. And I was like, normally it does reconnect. That was amazing. I'm not gonna lie. But I went to start another live stream, and it let me reconnect to it, which is weird. I don't normally do that. So, anywho, what I was talking about is that the shower, man. Oh, the shower. All I wanted to do on a long mental day was to go home and shower. That was always like my reset. So I could basically like hang out with my family. If that sounds weird. It's like I needed that shower. That was like my reset. Sometimes I even had to take a little nap. That helped out a lot too, just to do like a mental. It's almost like the way I always think about it is it's kind of like rebooting a computer. Come on, get up in the rafters. You can do it, Johnny. You can do it. So that was always, look, it's like it was meant to be. We got one sitting right here. Whose is this? I wonder if is that even mine? I don't know what it is. I'm not going to take it. They need it more than I do. I can tell you that. It could be mine. I had 2 at one time. Whew. There. I think I'm done with that. Okay. Is it Helbert? He says, hi, I'm back. Awesome. Glad you're here. Oh, Will jumped in. He says, put my 1 month notice into overhead. Nice. I didn't know, Will, I didn't realize you were... See what I was saying? That's why I thought, see, mine's missing it. That's why I was just saying, take that one, but I'm not gonna. Like I said, if it's one of the guys, I gotta hear whatever, you know. It's one of those things like when you're in business, it's like you're always providing. You want everybody to have better, you know, or as much as they can have, because there could be failures. So let's see what Will says. I got a stinking bug bugging me here. Close this up, because otherwise we'll get bugged. Take a seat for a minute. Hopefully the air conditioning's on. The mini split. Come on, split. Oh, that's right. We don't have automatic lights in here. We gotta actually flip a switch. Taking the saddle again. Sorry, I'm a little out of place tonight. Wasn't planning on it. I was just feeling lonely. I was out there working, thinking about you guys. I was like, man, I hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's keeping their fingers. He says, put my notice in overhead. He says, headed back home to Florida. And I'm going to start my own garage door business. Well, I forget, where were you at? Were you up north more? Eric says today sucked. He says, I was at house with a Crawford double wide wood door. Ooh, man. It had dual side mount springs. Yep. He says, one of those let go and ripped out a self. It also had a maxi and it just pulled. Was it the that door, that heavy door. What is you need lost and found? Man, I haven't seen a Crawford in a long time. I always hated Crawford. Crawford had a weird, what was that spring size? I can't think of it. It was a weird inside diameter. We got 1 3/4. I can't remember if it was like 1 7/8. I don't know. That's the first thing that comes to my brain. Maybe you guys can remind me on the Crawford. But we always had to carry like a special spring. We carry like a raw 10-foot, right hand, left hand for those Crawfords. I haven't came across a Crawford in quite a time. I think they're kind of extinct around here for the most part. There might be 1 or 2 in this town, pretty far and few. And it's kind of like one of those things, like it's like kind of like you see it now and it's like, nope. Unless it might have like an overhang and the person's willing to wait. But sometimes you get the customer that's like, I need fixed now. And you're like, okay, well then you need a new door. Because we got to go back. We got to make this if we even have it, if it's the right size. Your stuff is all junky, old, bearings, everything. You know what I mean? It just all depends. Every situation is different. How you doing? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. What I need, though, from you guys, if you would please hit the like button if you just come in, or if you're going to leave, or whatever you're going to do. Just hit the like button. It helps bring more people in. We have more conversation. We have more fun. So if you just hit the like button, like I said, I don't get a nickel from it. I'm here, free of charge, here to help you guys, to talk to you guys. Love the input. Learn from you guys. Hope you learn a few things from me, too. And just remember, if you got any questions or concerns or things about business or anything, you can always hit me up with the email, the daveadubson@gmail.com. Otherwise, if it's easier, some of you can also text me, 231-720-9675. My phone is always on silent, so depending on where you're at in this hemisphere, don't be worried. You can always send it because you're not going to wake me up or disturb me because, like I said, my phone is always on silent unless I know you're going to call via text or something of that nature. That's how it works. Okay, so you're up in PA. Okay, Pennsylvania. Oh, what's Tony got here? He says, hey, let you know how it goes starting it up. He says, hey, Will, he says, let me know how it goes starting up. Because I still want to start garage door business when I start going for winters. Tony, you don't need that. You don't want that. That's my department. I need that warmth, man. I need some. I don't like the snow. Let's see. Well, he says, do you know if you have to have a contractor's license? Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah, because we had a conversation on here, didn't we, Tony, about somebody that was having troubles with that, and that might be something good for to possibly. We kind of went on this. There's different ways to look at it, but possibly set it up where it's more of you're just selling product out the door versus a contractor. But like me and Tony have duked it out. The thing is, which Tony had a good valid point, was that if you have your name on there, people know you, they know what you do, they call you, that kind of service. They're not calling you and be like, will you come work on my hot water tank? And you're like, I don't do hot water tanks. But I do know when I was starting mine, at the very last minute, I was like, it's probably better to have it than not to have it. So that's why it's kind of tough for me to think about nowadays, because I was originally just going to do the affordable door. And then it was like, man, it's like we got already a couple customers that were doing gates. So that was going to be like affordable door and gate. Then it was like, geez, do we add into where it's affordable door and gate and fence? And it's like, well, like it just like the list goes on. So it's kind of why I've mentioned before about the enterprise. I like enterprise. I just feel like if you ever defer, right? You have this business and then make you branch off it and you make it a sub of the hub. Because it's like, I don't know. Like I said, I get it though. If you're out there advertising, doing business cards, you're doing golf tees, anything, right? Business cards, everything, right? It's nice to have. This is what you do. You know what I mean? But I always just look at it like, man, you work so hard to build that, where it's like, it's so hard to get that in the system and get your tax ID number and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it'd just be nice if we're like, you know what, maybe you want to cut a tree down or something for somebody, or want to do car detailing, and you're just like, you know what, make it out to ABC Enterprise. Let's see here. Do you know if you have all? Eric says all of the techs hate Crawfords. The Crawfords. Yeah, like I said, it's not bad. I don't mind the Crawfords if we got the springs for them. That's when it. But it's like when you get that customer that's like, well, I need this thing, you know, going right now. And the Crawford was even hard to get to. Limit where like you put springs in the center and try to, I forget how it's set up, but it's like the end bearing part of it, and it's a real bear. Like you just got to have the springs. Like it's a must have. So either you order them, they're real bare of a wire too. So trying to clamp them, I don't even know. I think I want to clamp those old things. You know, they're part of a wire. But nobody's mentioned anybody what the ID on those were. They were different. I feel like it was 1 7/8 inch. Is what the Crawford ID was. And that's why you couldn't use inch quarter. It was a little different. Is it Mr. H? That's why I called you last time, Mr. H. He says, do you remember me? Yeah, Spark. I don't think we were like kissing or anything, but I remember you. A face. You'd always text me, send me some pictures. And no kissing pictures. I'm just talking like golf course, landscaping, competition, garage doors. You can send me a picture of your furnace. I don't even care. I love pictures. I just love all pictures. I love seeing areas and how things are done. I love, like, you know, one thing that comes right to my head, like top of my head? I like seeing how the hot water tanks are in the garage of certain places, like maybe like Florida. Tony, do you know? Like the hot water tank. And I'm like, the hot water tank is in the garage? Like, you can't do that. That's a no-no. I've never seen one in the garage. Like, who does that? Those are cool. I like that kind of stuff. I love construction. I love building. I love seeing the roofs. I love it all. I really do. Pavement. He says, yep, we did. He says, yeah, I'm looking into that. He says, I believe I will get one no matter what to keep opportunities open. Tony says, well, what part of Florida? He says, he says, Northwest Florida. Oh, sweet. Tony says, nice. This place is in Nipford Hills. Mr. H or GTG. Tony says, Fort Wayne, and he says, yeah, the hot water heaters are in the garage. Not all, but some newer homes. Crazy. That's just crazy. Like, we don't ever see that hardly in Michigan. I can't even think of the newer homes around here. It's just, I guess we'll freeze them. We'll freeze them up, baby. I like watching those guys even change them. Like I said, just, I don't know. All that stuff just is really cool. Old pumps, you know, even well pumps, how people did stuff. It's just really cool. Will, he says, very nice. Not much competition in the Northwest. Nice. Tony Scott, he says, that's one of my big selling points when I see the utilities in the garage. I let them know, they need a good insulated door. That's a good one. That's a good one. It's weird around here. There's quite a few builders. It's kind of they'll build the I call them like the wife homes. I don't even know how to, like soccer mom homes. Like they, you know, like they're the ones that you look at and you go, wow, you know, this house is really, really nice. And then they open the garage door, and as soon as they hit that button, you can hear it going. You hear everything, and you're like, yeah, that's a non-insulated garage door. You get in there, and they're like, oh yeah, our master bedroom is right above here, and you're like, and you got a non-insulated garage door? And then you look in the garage, and you're like, oh, and it's kind of got the cheesy like half drywalled, plastered, whatever, you know, like not done very good. And then they got like one outlet. They're like, yeah, they wanted like $800 for an opener, and like, we need you to put an opener in. And it's like, oh, okay. And it's like, golly, it's like, well, it would have been nice if you could have upgraded the garage door when they were building. And then, or these people, I've been to them where you go to them and they've been there for about 5 or 10 years, and you do something, you're working on something, preventive maintenance, whatever it is. And, you know, I always like to ask, I'm like, you know, so they go, yeah, we house built, you know, 5, 10 years ago. And so I always like, well, how do you like it? You know, and it's like, I almost feel like everyone I've ever talked to, never, maybe one or two said, you know, the builder was good. They did a good job. Where like I'd go to them, the driveway's cracked or the sand washed out on brand new homes. Just, you know, just all kinds of stories, you know, yeah, we had the front back porch was leaning off, it fell off, you know, and I'm like, brand new house? That's crazy. Well, he says, I need to hit you up. He says, byproduct / good distributors. Will, you need to hook up with Tony probably. That's my guess. I don't know. Drove my work truck down last time. I went well, he says, when I was at the Walmart, an old man was waiting for me to get back to my truck. That's cool. And I'm installing garage door opener for him on my vacation. Oh, that's funny. That's so cool. That's so cool. So what if I send you a picture of some food while you're working? Make you hungry on the job. That's okay. I like seeing food too. He says, that's nice. He says, that's awesome. He says, yeah, we got a couple builders around here that builds soccer mom homes. Yeah, it says with non-insulated doors and utilities in garage. Stupid. I know, isn't it crazy? Like I can't even believe. I just can't believe they even get away with this stuff. It's always so disappointing because you know, there's an initial investment, and it's like, gosh, if these people would have known, they might not have been educated. They might have, you know, maybe they didn't pay for it, whatever. But if they would have just spent another, you know, $7,000, whatever it is, to upgrade it into a insulated, but the outside looks pretty. It's got all the hardware on it. It's got all the handles, but it's not insulated windows. It's like, you know. And then when they tell you, oh, my bedroom's right above here, and you're like, gosh, if you can keep the garage, you know, another 3-4 degrees warmer, and it, you know, who knows what they did with the upstairs, you know, who insulation in here, you know what I mean? So people can get really kind of screwed over on those new homes, you know. It's kind of sad where probably the good builders would charge you, you know, almost double maybe. Is that smart, Tony? Will, I go over to Pay there in Tampa. Nice. Or you could just go to the box stores. Go to the box stores. I don't know, man. I'm doing like the whole 360. I just contacted with the lady today that we did. I got a couple more before you. I still got to edit on the Menards door, and she sent me a message, and she was asking, which she's a very nice lady, by the way. But anyway, she was saying something about, you know, what kind of opener, and she gave me the link right through, even just through Facebook Messenger. I clicked on it. It's got a whole list. Like I said, man, you know, like I said, I'm not a fanboy really for Menards, but man, they got their stuff down. It is so convenient and so easy to use. It's the easiest thing I've ever seen anywhere. Anyways, I go through there. I'm scrolling, right? I see an opener on there. It's got Wi-Fi. It's got the repeater with it. It's Chamberlain. Comes with 2 remotes, outside keypad. It's a belt drive. What was it? $177. It says it's their top seller. I'm like, $177. I'm like, how do you beat that? 2 remotes, outside keypad with the repeater, belt drive, with, I think, a rebate of either $12 or $20. And I'm just like, $170. I'm like, how do you beat that? I just don't see it. I mean, it's going to be a little more time putting together. We'll go through. I know, $177. I'm just like, dude. And then I'm like thinking like all the problems. Like if you like, and see, I'm kind of thinking like behind the scenes. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking behind the scenes, right? Like, so you install this thing, you put it up there, right? You put all your hard labor into it and you go click, click, click. What the hell, it's not working, you know? And you just go, son of a, take that thing down. Now the rail's gonna suck, take back apart. You shove that thing in a box and you push it in a cart, you know, and you go, it don't work. And they go, okay, well, do you want one? Or do you want in-store credit? Or do you want to go get another one? And you're like, I'll go get one. Or whatever the case may be. And away you go. And it's like nothing behind you anymore. There's no RGA. There's no dealing with the vendor. There's no drop. Like, you just, you know what I'm saying? But most of the time they work. If they're Chamberlain's, it does pretty good. They had a Genie. I think the Genie was a little bit more, $199. And I thought, with the Genie, you've been having problems with the RPM sensor. I hate for this one to be sitting in the shelf or whatever. And Chamberlain's so much easier. You know what I mean? And people, it's great for the homeowners that are kind of DIYers because Chamberlain's got all the tech support. They got the videos. They just seem like they're more animated. They seem like they're kind of like the Google, where Genie might be a little more, how do I explain it? The Microsoft or DOS. That's what, or maybe Yahoo. That's just my feeling. But I think Genies work good too. They'd be my second option. And then they still had one that was like I think it was $145. I think that was their Power Master. So I think was you who said this. There was a person who had a new build house and asked for a belt drive opener, but the builder gave her a chain drive. He says they had to replace a belt drive. I don't know. This was you who said it was a person who had a new build. Maybe the chain drive was too noisy. It doesn't ring a bell. I mean, I was the one I remember saying about the screw drive, how they advertised. And I remember when I was a kid, man, my step parents or whatever, you know, like, man, loud. That here when they left, when they went to the grocery store, they came back, that thing would be, you know, the bed would be, it was almost like you'd shake off the bed. I know. Who else? Who told me? I can't remember off the top of my head. I got a memory. Sorry. Somebody sent me the video of that guy installing. He got it from Home Depot, and it Tony. Was it you? I can't sent me the one, but it was a Clopay, and the guy was installing it. And you know, he said the price was like $2,000, $3,000. I was like, yeah, that don't sound like. And then somebody in the comments was like, oh, Home Depot marks them up like so much, like you paid $1,000 over. And I thought, I don't know how true that is. Like, I almost wanted to get a price on it myself because I thought it sounds like it's in the ballpark for how big the door was. And the box stores, they're always cheaper. You know what I mean? And good and bad, I guess, you know. Able to get that Stanley going. Oh yeah, so the Stanley stayed. Basically, the way I looked at it is I told her, I said I've had problems with these Stanley. I don't know what it is. I've tried to readjust those limits on the bottom, and they go wonky. I mean, it's like almost like 9 times out of 10, if you touch those Stanleys, it's like they get, I don't know what's inside them. They get set in their perimeter, and it's like you go to adjust that limit on it. I think it's got 2 knobs and like a clutch. So what I always do is I just let the opener travel with the J-arm to wherever it's going to go. I ended up drilling my own hole in the operator bracket because I was like, the calculation wasn't right for the holes, for the pins or whatever, for the bolts. And I was like, I am not touching these limits. I was like, that is not going to happen. Because forget why we kind of agreed. And I seen some of your guys' comments too, and I agreed with it. It was kind of like, you know, the Genie needed to go. Does anybody know that watched that video? The only thing I still don't know for sure, I haven't torn one apart or something, is if it's a Genie chain drive, right? I'm assuming obviously it's pushing the chain through the channel, right? It's not a wraparound. It's pushing it. It pushes in. It's just in that channel pushing a chain. Where does the chain go? Is the chain got? Is there a? I'll know because I'm gonna tear it out. But is there a sprocket that chain's sucking up into in a plastic cavity? Because I don't remember. I've seen them over the years. I guess I don't know if I just not paid attention. But the channel's not big enough, it seemed like, for a chain to be wrapping around some sort, because the chain's sideways. And I don't know what I would love to see some like literature on it. You know, what was the sale pitch on that? You know, we don't have the screwdriver, but we got a chain inside of a channel that it pushes the chain back and forth in the rail system. Like I just, you know, it's one of those things like you look at, for God's sakes, like, who designed this? Like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. I don't even understand this. Like, because it's quiet? Was it? I don't even think it was that quiet. It just seems wimpy. I think it was a piece together rail. So, I mean, it seemed like it'd be a nightmare to put together. I don't know. Ay, ay, ay. All right, let's see here what we got. This is now that scene. Where are you able to get the Stanley? So yes, the Stanley is going though. Willie says we install for a large local builder, and they get decorative hardware and most POS sections and openers, operators we sell. I wonder if some of those, any of those outside hardware. I don't recommend the magnets. They move. Kids like to yank on those things. Oh. I said, Sky says, are you a golfer? He says, I grew up in a house that had Moromatic 72. It was screwdriver, but the thing is silent. Interesting. If you ever encounter one, save it. Will do. For sure. The chain wraps up inside a plastic base, is it? Inside the machine. Mike from All Pro made a teardown video years ago. Okay. That's what I kind of thought. I thought there's a big plastic housing up there. I think it's black, if I remember right. Seeing one before. And that chain just kind of spools up, spools out. Like, I guess, has anybody worked on one? Like, are they like, what's their fail point on those things most time? Like this one, the trolley, or I'm sorry, the rail was tweaked a little bit, kind of knocked it back over. It still works. It's just, I wouldn't trust it. And that's the side that they're going to use. So I said, hey, this is the one that if you're going to do it, let's get rid of this one. But I don't remember working on them. I always remember tearing them out, it seemed like, but it's just one of those that I just saw. If anybody ever had a salesperson or somebody used to, had anybody ever installed them themselves, or what the sales pitch, like, I still can remember the iDrive, right? And they come in, they're like, this is the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm like, and I was like a puppy dog then, like, oh, is it? Like, oh, wow, that's going to be great. That's a great design, with the teardrop shaft. I'm like, oh, that's revolutionary. Then we installed like them, and it was like, this is the biggest pile of junk. I don't like this thing. I'm going back to lift pieces of crap. Why would they ever do this? I still can hear the sound that those iDrives made. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, 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 beep. Go up and down in the arm. Remember the arm? Whack. Come down, lock. They don't sell those anymore, do they? I think those are out. Good old Moromatic, Tony says. Says, how many people on here? Oh, shoot. Here we go. We got to delete Tony. He's already given the sales pitch way too early. Told you, Tony, you only do that at the end. Oh. This is A from Chicago. He says, I'm a industrial dock and door guy. Ooh, nice, Eric. Says, guys, high-speed doors like Rytec and Albany. Ooh, I tried getting with Albany a long time ago, we had somebody already in our area, so we couldn't deal with them. I've gone around the chains to get Albany to work on them, man. I tell you what, it's a different animal. You're up there with what I call it, like with the big boy stuff. That's how I call it. Dock plates, stuff, man. That's like how do I say it? It's almost like union work. You know what I mean? It's not, but it is. You know what I'm trying to say? Like you got to slow down. I think of the guy walking around with a cigarette, got to take a break, got to go outside for 10, 20 minutes, think about it. That's some cool stuff. So if you come across anything, pictures or whatnot, if you need my phone number or my email, let me know. Love to have you here. That's some pretty cool stuff. That's some pretty high dollar. I know there is some guys that look into getting into the docks, like dock plates and all that. And high speeders, man, I tell you, they're good. Like I said, it's good money. It's a lot slower pace. They're kind of becoming the future. A lot of things. Definitely car washes. I wonder if Eric does car wash. Eric, do you do cars at all for high speed, or just all industrial? Because I see a lot of the car, the rubber doors. Will says I have a Surewinder on my truck. Never comes out. Oh my gosh, Will. Will, how old are you? You never use the Surewinder? I use mine daily, man. Oh, man, I definitely. He says, mine I need to embrace it. He says, but bars are easy for the most part and always have for a helper for when they get too heavy. Oh, nice. Also, been working on mostly rolling steel lately. The good old rolling steel. He says, I just had to get you... Going, Dave. I know what's that, man. Rytech. Rytech, and what does it say? Screw off? What does that mean? Was that a joke, or? Because what does it say up here? It says speed doors. Oh, is it Albany? Is that why you said? Is that why you said it? He says yes, it is. Yep, that's what I already kind of figured. I already knew. I already knew Eric. I could tell. I was like, right here. He's already saying. He says yes. He says I have a F550 with a crane. No, you don't. So big boy stuff, man. Do you have a welder on the truck? Most time you got a welder, some of that stuff for the docks and all that. He says, go and got it. Says Eric says, I love my job. He says, we've had so many guys come from residential side and they cannot handle this side of it. Ooh, Eric, man, I'm glad you brought that up. I really am. That's really sweet of you, because it is, man. It's a total a lot of guys can't do it. I've noticed that in the business. I would totally do that. I've noticed that with guys that I've hired. I have a pretty good regulator on me. I can do that, right? I can switch. I can go with a residential where it's bam, bam, bam. Let's knock it out. Let's get this done. Let's go. And then it's like I can flip over into the industrial side where it's like, whoa, we need to slow down. We need to really think about this. We got to do all the safety protocols. We're in a big, we are being micromanaged by everybody. You got to remember that everybody here is paid hourly. And everybody gets like bonuses in a sense, or tips, not tips, but bonuses for finding C, so they're gonna squeal on us about the safety violations, or they're gonna go talk to theirs and be like, why don't they have to wear a hard hat, and we do, or whatever. And it's a different animal. And all I can tell guys, if you're in that situation, you got to slow down. You got to really think about the safety protocols. That's a big one, but it's really hard. A lot of guys get used to the residential, man. It's almost that quick, easy. You go to the next job. It's almost like instant gratification. You get to stop at the gas station. You get to, go see the next one with the poodle and with the Mrs. Jones, and to Mr. Harold with the nice sport car. And the industrial one is it's a different animal. Like you might be there, you know what I mean? And some people just don't like that. So I'm glad you brought that up. So I haven't messed with one of those glides before. He says, but I love to get one to mess with. Ooh. So I want to get the original Genie Aladdin chain glide from, I don't know if I know that one. The Aladdin chain glide from 02. Yes, I do in doing dealerships. Okay. Probably a car wash. Eric says, since there's another Eric in the chat, just call me Freeze. You got it, Freeze. That's cool. My favorite door I install is the, was it Predator? And the Spiral. I've seen Spiral. I've seen videos and stuff on them. Never done. I think they do those a lot for like the car dealerships and stuff like that. Oil changes. I think I've heard those too. Are they good? Are they any good? I don't know if they're kind of problematic. Boy, it seems like a high-speed rubber door. You can't beat those to some degree. It says, yes, Miller Trailblazer 302. I also install dock levelers. Oh, nice. I got lucky and just got a 2450 with a fresh Lincoln welder. Ooh, and always have equipment. He says, I might be soft, is it, for commercial guys? It's amazing how that stuff adds up. The trucks, man, it's you can start overloading them real easy. It says here it's scary. He says on the industrial side, all the safety trainings, steel mills are insane. I bet. We got some around here. You got to have the metal tarsal boots. I mean, it's one of those jobs where it's like you go in these places, it feels like it takes you 2 to 3 to 4 hours just to get started. You know what I mean? By the time you go through the training, you got to have the meeting, and you got to go through your safety protocol. You got to evaluate what the scope of work is going to be done. And it's really tough if you don't have basically like a monster crew. You know what I mean? If you're just starting out, unless that's what you're just going to stick to and stay in that, and you're going to like stay elite to one company and then hope that, if you're starting out though, that's really tough because we got some that it's impossible where you go in these buildings and stuff to even get cell service. You have to literally walk side or on the roof to get cell service to even reply back to people. It's like you almost got to go out there and do like a mayday. Beep, 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 beep. Can you please bring me some extra chain? Can you bring me some lube? Can you bring me some grease? Okay, I got to go. And, it's like they're gone for an hour. And then it's like another signal comes up. Beep, 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 And in some places you can't even have them, explosive stuff. Just installed the Edge dock. He says, just last week, don't do too many levelers. Nice. Major heights, we also install vertical freight lift that go up 200 feet. Holy cow. Man. You ever get a chance, Eric, send me some pictures, man. Send me some pictures. That's some cool stuff. I'd love to see that. Freeze. His commercial is tough. He says, but I will stay with residential where everything is easy. He says, I got my OSHA card, but still staying on the easy side. And that's, Freeze has got a point there. It just all depends on the levels, right? Everybody's got different levels. I'm just assuming Eric probably is working for a door company. Because it's, like I said, you need a team, man. You got to have a team. That's big boy stuff. Will says, with nuclear power plants, safety videos, always make you rethink being in their facility. Will, I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm so glad. I would agree. We have a commercial buildings that we have worked at, and it's like you're watching it, and you go in here, and you can go in here, and you're gonna get cancer, you're gonna die. I agree. It's like you're sitting there, and you're like, I always remember one guy I worked with. He always told me, he says that buzzard goes off. He says I ain't going to their stupid station. He says I'm running down the road. He says I'm out of here. Uh, He says I'm making 65. Yeah, that's good. Will says, damn it. He says, Parador is most reliable. Fair Equipment Company of Illinois. Nice. Great company to work for. Awesome. Oops. I froze there for a second. Freeze says, we do Wayne Dalton Safety, CHI. CHI is probably my favorite. CHI is pretty decent. So says their Pandora is solid. Nice. I love Midland, but we don't install them, but I'm definitely sell them. I definitely sell them. Yeah, I like Midland. Midland's a one I really do like. So bam, he says, good evening. Good evening. Glad you're here. If you jumped on, like I said, don't forget, if you can, hit the like button. Just helps more people in, which is always more fun. Freeze, if I did doors. Oh, so you do the Midland? Yeah, I always really like the Midland. Like I said, the Midland I always talk about. I've said it before. It's like the brown paper bag that your mom would send you to school with. You know what I mean? Like it has a little love note in there. She packs you everything. She knows exactly what you want. It's perfect. You know, that's how the Midland doors remind me, because you open up the package, right, for residential. I don't even know if does Midland do commercial garage doors? I've only done residential, I think. But there's a list in there, and I always like that it's initial. Somebody like, oh my gosh, it's initialed by a human. There's human on the other end of this, and they'll initial, and then they'll have all a check of what's in there, and it just makes me feel so reassured that's the right software. At least from what I understand, like Wayne Dalton, they just basically go by weight. That's why if you look at everything, it always says weight, and to me, it's like it goes down this like assembly line, and it's like, this one's off a half a pound. Let me just grab this and sprinkle in there. That should be good when it's missing a very important bracket, you know. And it's good evenings. If I did door, he says Eric's guy. I will have some great pictures. He says awesome, and Eric too. If you send them to me, just always let me know. Like if it's something I could, if I could ever share, or if I can't, I always respect any of you guys that if you have anything that you because I do get personal emails. I reply to those ones, and people just tell me, so I respect that. You know what I mean? I'm not hearing stuff that people don't want me to, because that's just not right. So like I said, you can always hit me up at the daveadupson@gmail.com. I typically put a description in most of my videos. I didn't put it, I don't think, in this one, in my live. But otherwise, too, you can always hit me up. If it's easier just to send a text, just shoot me a text, 231-720-9675, and you can send it anytime, night or day. Because, like I said, my phone's always on silent, so it's never going to wake me up or interrupt me. It's just something I've done for years now. CH is a good rolling door. Ooh, that's good. I worked at Baxter Labs. I worked on a door that was rated for RPG attack? Holy cow. It says it's 6 ton. Holy moly. I wonder how long it took you to install that. Shared the snow? Oh, I don't know what that means. Midland does. Okay, so Midland does do industrial, commercial. Okay, thanks, Freeze. I don't think I've ever done a commercial. Maybe a 10 by 10 is the biggest I've done with them. They're kind of like, for us, there's a vendor that's roughly 45 minute hour away, one way. And they're kind of like that last emergency, like we don't have that door in stock, we have to run to them, they got it, type of thing. Good stuff, though. Question Tony's got. He says, if I hook a solar panel up to Better Pack opener, do you think that will keep it charged? I don't know. That's a good question. I have no power in my building. I want to run my opener. Ooh, what are you guys think will work? That's a great one. That's interesting. We got the gate operators. Why don't they have? I guess they come out with this other stuff. I'm surprised they haven't come out with like a advertisement of one that's a solar powered. Go green, right? To go green. That's what, to save the earth. Ah, there you go, Freeze. That's what you gotta build, baby. Gotta build those openers, those solar powered ones. I need to send you. You're more welcome to share. Perfect. Thank you. I love the work that you do out there, he says, and how honest you are with your clients. He says, I did a lot of residential myself. Let's jump in here myself. He says, it's two different worlds between industrial and residential. Man, I tell you, it really is. And it's, I don't know why some people kind of that hard time, you know, because I don't know. I don't know. I think I don't know. I really don't know what it is. Maybe somebody can comment. I don't know what it is that makes it where it's like you have to respect. It's almost like you have to respect the residential and you have to respect the commercial. And the commercial, they have a totally different playbook, right? Handbook, you know, and it's like everything for them is like safety, high vis, hard hats, safety glasses. And some people just like, some guys just resent that, you know what I mean? And I've seen it where it's like I don't need safety glasses. You don't need safety glasses until something happens, you know what I mean? And that's just their protocol, man. We gotta go with what they're doing. You know, it's just the way we work here. You know what I mean? Like it's, you gotta go by their book. He says, you're right about the Wayne Dalton stuff. One time we got 3N3 hinges and single number 2. I'm telling you, man, the ones that were always big for me with them, a lot of times, I might have to switch spots, I might lose power, were honestly the flag brackets, right? For your top of your track, or the one that's even, now the one that's for your horizontal piece of track, not so bad. I've used a piece of angle. It looks a little goofy, but it works. But I tell you what, when they don't send you that one, you know, for the vertical at the very top that joins your horizontal and your vertical together, I can't tell you how many times they stiffed me on that. You know, brand new box, never been open, and you go drive somewhere that's 45 minutes to an hour and a half one way, and you get there and you rip that box open and you're like, where's the bracket? You know what I mean? And it's like, it gets real irritating because what the salespeople in that, they'll come in and they'll tell you, they'll be like, oh, it's okay. Like, we'll give you another hardware box. You're like, it's okay. Well, the problem is I deal with like maybe 1 or 2 other manufacturers. I mean, and so now I got to carry, and then you're like, okay, so you're going to give me an extra hardware box. Okay. And so you need to carry this extra hardware box. Well, who's to say the hardware box even has the right hardware in it? And then it's like, that's more weight for me to carry around. So when you're driving certain vehicles, right, all of a sudden your vehicle's leaning. You got so much extra weight in this thing because I know one hardware box. I'm just saying things start adding up, right? Start going, oh, I want to add, you know, carry some struts, and I want to carry torsion tubes, and oh, you know, I want to carry some solids because I do some commercial stuff. And what I'm getting is that now you go, okay, you're going to give me a hardware box, but I also have a fleet of 7 other trucks. So you're going to give me 7 more, you know, eight hardware boxes? Oh, well, we could probably give you like 2, but the rest you'd have to buy. How about you just get your crap right and send us the right stuff in the box and get the quality control? Like, I'm always like, when the whole cough syndrome was going on, that was irritating. They would literally send us like a window section. The truck door would open, guy would hand us a window section and be like, that's it. Like, where's the rest of the door? You know, they just gave you a window section. I can't do nothing with the window section. It's almost like they would send you the bill, right? So it's like they dropped off the full delivery, even though they didn't, and then send it the next week, the rest of it. And I was like, screw this crap, man. Just like shut down for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and starting out little by little, but it's all correct. All the quality controls right thing, but they were just throwing stuff out. It was a horrible. I hope we never go back through that. I have some company makes a solar. Ooh. I hope some company makes a solar opener. Heck yeah, that'd be cool. The biggest rolling door I have ever worked on was Chicago. This is Opera House. Oh my gosh, 120 by foot by. I can't even you gotta send me some pictures. I just can't even like that doesn't even like register in my brain. I'm just like, huh? They don't make them that big. There's no way, you know. Tony, what's up, Rich? Rich is in the house. Tony, I think it was at 12 or 24 volts. Ooh, yeah, I got to figure out the voltage. You can. I did it for a gate opener. It only runs on solar and battery 24-volt inverter. Nice. Rich, just a solar panel from Harbor Freight. Heck yeah, they'll hook you up nice and cheap. How's it going? Rich B says they're 12 volt. Nice. Tony, make sure you send me a picture if you end up doing it, because I think that'd be pretty sweet. Got to do it. Let's see here. Freeze the key. I installed 24 volt converted to 24 into 120. It ran way more efficiently. It used less battery power. That's interesting to know. Eric or Freeze. I'm sorry, Mr. Freeze. You'd probably be able to modify a battery backup machine with a solar charge controller and battery. I think that would be, I would agree with that one. What method do you use to find the radius when you're estimating a new install? Ooh, that one. That's a good one, Eric. I like that. I don't know if the way I do it is 100% right, so I'd love to hear your guys' opinion. But if we're just talking about, like, is it 12-inch radius or is it 15-inch radius, residential application, the way I always do it, I always look flag bracket. I always know how the bracket, the bearing is, you know, if there's a stem above the flag bracket, and I don't know if this is there's a way you can measure it. I know there's a way. It's kind of like the way you measure it. To me, it kind of reminds me like roof. You know, you got to measure 12 feet in, 12 inches over, and this many down. I normally can look at it. I can kind of look at it because I've just seen it over the years, and I'm like, that's got to be 15. It's just way big. 12. And I don't know what you guys do, so I'd love to hear your comments on it. But I always just the flag bracket, and I go, okay, if there's a chunk sticking up, and like basically your plate would bolt, your end bearing plate would hit it. I'm like, that's 12. If it's that piece of angles all the way at the very top of that flag, that's 15. You know what I mean? That's just how I always look at it, to use my general thumb. But ultimately, the way I've always done it is, we have a rock star secretary. She's awesome. I've always just measured flame, and that just always is my go-to. Like if there's a light bulb, that's my floor to ceiling. Even I measure that just to have everything. I'll measure like the rafters and stuff, but floor to ceiling. You know what I mean? Because no matter what, because I've had them with old wood doors have tricked me. Wood doors are my nemesis. You know what I mean? Like they've tricked me before. I looked at it and I'm like, oh, we're fine. And we showed up with 12-inch radius even, and like the doors hitting the rafters, and I'm like, what the fudge? I'm like, what did I do wrong? I'm always like floor to ceiling, floor to ceiling. And then sometimes if it's going to be a fudge factor, obviously there's room above there. We can stick the springs that up in the cavity if they're not going to put a lid in there, a ceiling. Just piggyback terminals to the battery. I like that. That's what I'm thinking. Freeze got the solar panel would overcharge without a solar controller. Ooh, yes. This is I'll send pictures of my was it custom 27 high lift. Ooh, dog. It says we've never have custom built with drum springs. Didn't even need to call service spring. Dang, nice. I remember when I've made my own low headroom track. It took me a long time to do it, especially when it was my first one. I was a little more green. I got it down to a lance now. I can go a lot faster, but Oh man, low headroom track, the dual, getting the radius. Oh man, that's just, I had to do it because it was for my house, my old house, and I wanted to do it. But getting that measurement right and getting it where she kicks, ooh boy, it's like I should have just bought it. Should have just bought it. It says, oh yeah, you're obviously get a solar charger. Do freeze. He says you'd probably get away with stock. Was it 18 stock battery? I've always had trouble trying to figure out the radius when I'm measuring a new door. Ooh. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if vendors or if you got like a secretary. I just know I got it burned in my head from when we used to do Lowe's installs, when we used to do what we call the detail, go out there, make sure everything's going to fit. And it was always floor, floor to ceiling, floor to ceiling, floor to ceiling. That's burned in my brain. So I always, because when you go out and do details on residential, there's a lot of stuff going. I've literally even thought about, I think I got my camera now I can put on my hat, but I always thought about putting like a body cam on, almost like the police officer, because there's just so many things that I've overlooked over the years. If I was even talking to myself, right? Because sometimes residential can be really tough, especially when you're by yourself and you're measuring and I get distracted really. So like people will start talking about something, this door, this, whatever, the colors and stuff, and I can overlook. And where it's gotten me before, it seems like the worst. It was sometimes on the width, because I've been outside. I always measure the outside of the jamb. And then I go inside, measure the inside of the door too. If it's a funky, I've had like the wood doors and stuff. And it's like, what is going on? Why is the door, it's like, whatever, it's 8'6" wide or something. And then it's like a 9 foot. And you're like, what is going on? And then you almost have to slice it down the middle, right? You have to split the hair, where it's like, okay, am I going to go with this? Why did they do this? Was it just, they ordered it wrong? The headroom, the height has been the same thing too. So I always when I get into that weird funk, it's like I want everything. And then normally what I do is sometimes when I've been done with the camera, I've literally parked around the corner, find like a gas station or like a Walmart parking lot, whatever. And I've sat there before and gone through all my notes, kind of meditated, because I figure that for some reason, if all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, like I don't know what the floor to ceiling, or I don't know if I can fit, or if I mention something to the secretary or my vendor, and they go, well, we need to know like how much room is in the back. Maybe they got a beam in the back too. I mean, I've had some crazy stuff. And I'm right around the corner, so I can call the customer and go, you know what? I'm sorry to bother you again, but I really need to get this dimension. And can I come? They're like, yeah, it's still unlocked, blah, blah, blah. So, but the body camera I always figured would be nice because, yeah, I'd be saying it too, right? I'd be sitting there looking at the tape and I'd be like, 8'6" wide, but the outside's 9. And if I had that camera go through, I just cannot stress enough about pictures. But floor to ceiling is the big one. And then in the picture too, I want to see that there's a cavity there. And if I was to measure that cavity and say, okay, it's a 12-foot cavity, what I mean? There's plenty of room to stuff the spring. If my vendor or secretary said, your floor ceiling, you really need 2 more inches, and I'd be like, we're good. They're not putting no ceiling in there. Order it. We're going with 12-inch radius. We're not going to do no janky low headroom deck, rear mount, blah blah blah, whatever. So, but like I said, the radius, I don't have a really good secret for it. Like I said, I always just look at the bracket. That's how I look at it. Hopefully it kind of makes sense. If not, I'll make a little video about how I look at the radius. And like I said, can't guarantee. It's just how I've done it. It hasn't failed me yet, unless it's like an old weird Crawford wood door. Those ones are just, I just don't even, I don't know how the wood doors, I still can't figure out how the wood doors make their stuff fit. And we can't make 12-inch radius fit. It blows my mind. And I don't know if it's because I figured out that they have more sections. Like we're talking, let's say like a 9x7 door. And I think it's because they have, instead of being like a 4-section, theirs are like a 5-section. I don't know the exact magic to it. I really don't. I just know I tore out wood doors. And like their track fit in the opener, and here I'm putting a 12-inch radius, and I'm like, son of a biscuit. Like, what's going on here? It says you could probably get away what did I miss? Freeze, I just sent you a video. Did you? I did see some pop up. So thank you, Freeze. Got the right number. You got the right number. I seen something pop up. Eric's guy says, and then you need to double low headroom after you show up with 12-inch. Oh my gosh, that's the worst. I tell you, that's why I'm like really big about like the pictures. And I mean, you got to spend the time, and you know, I'm very notorious. I've forgot things, but if it's like, it's hard to, for me anyway, sometimes it's hard to have a customer talking over your shoulder. You got your paper, you know, and you got a clipboard, and it's just nowhere where to really set it. And then you're tape measuring things out, trying to write, you know, you're like, okay, yeah. And now you're saying, okay, why is this door, you know, 8'9", let's just say wide, you know, is the jam outside, and the inside, I got a 9 foot, you know, and it's really, you're cutting hairs. So it's like, if you had a video to go back or pictures, it's helped me out so many times. I can't many times I've looked at, you know, like I've had maybe the secretary, somebody ask, go, does it have this on it? And I don't know why. I'm like, I don't know. Like, look at my picture, and I look at a picture from like street, you know, view, and I'm like, zoom in. I'm like, no, there ain't no radius. I'm like, it's, you know, it's 45s. It's all good. We don't need no extra trim. There's just so many things that can help. I've gone back and looked at, and I was like, you know, I think I'm gonna make a different decision on this. They told me, you know, they're planning on finishing this garage, you know, and putting a ceiling in here. Okay, well, you know, I ain't gonna have that room above there. So you got to really take your time. The details are very, very, very important. Sorry, I froze for a second. The phone isn't liking me. It says you are low on juice. I'm gonna plug in, I think. If you have 12-inch headroom, 12-inch radius, he says if you have 15 or more, 15-inch radius. Now, see, Tony, I think there's something goofy about 12-inch. I feel like 12-inch is actually more like 12 and a half, if I'm wrong. But I'm always like, that. It's kind of like, I always told myself, I go, those little boogers, I go, lying to us. You know, I'm like, it's not 12-inch radius. It's like, I'm like, you need almost 12 and a half. It seems like, in my head, is what my theory. I know you got to add roughly, I always say about 2 inches for an opener, get up in there. But it seems like it's not quite, we had a sheet, the secretary's sheet. It's a really bad, I should get that sheet from her. I know she's got it. And it's a really killer sheet. It's got everything. It's so kind of a newbie. Even me, like I said, I'd like to have it right now, because I'm sitting here. I know, like, it's got like the 10-inch radius, what it can do. It just in layman's terms. So I remember the one time I went to measure a customer's door, and I thought it was 16 by 7, and it was 16.2. Dang. By 7.3. Holy cow. He says, I got in trouble. Oh my gosh. Dude, that's some nut stuff. Like, I've had it the worst, well, I'm sure there's been worse, but the one that comes to my brain is always when I didn't realize they do 3-inch increments, and they, you know, so like I'd measure it, and I'd be like, okay, the height on this is 6'9", not 7 foot, you know, and I'm like, it must be 7 foot. And I just roll with it. And then it always seemed like, you know, now the door come in, you tear off their old one, you go and install a new one, and then no windows or anything, and you go to put the trim. That was always the worst part, right? When you put the weather seal on there, and it's got the whoops in the raised panels, and you're like, that looks like crap. And you're like, if it would have been 6'9", it would have looked a lot better. You know, it had the flat fist for the weather seal. So those are all those little things that you gotta take in consideration. Plus, if you're doing, you know, 6'9", it saves you a little more room, right? Instead of doing that 7 foot, because it grows. So those are some huge calculations that you take in factor. And so that's why a lot of times, like when I've been for a greenhorn, even to this day, you just got to do it. Right? Go outside, measure the outside jam. You know, it's just one of those things like design where you just go, this is a cookie cutter place. Like everything looks like it fits right. I'm just gonna measure the inside or whatever, or measure outside. You go inside, yeah, you can see. But otherwise, measure outside jam, measure the door, headroom. Headroom's a big one. Obviously, no beams or anything behind you, you know, for your track. All that kind of stuff. 12-inch. That is obviously really weird. 16.273. That is really weird. Freeze this guy. He goes, here's a question. What's the craziest opener install before jack shaft hops? He says, when there is a beam above the door, a wall, pipes, zero clearance. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Let me see if I can find some power. Oh yeah, somebody got power. They got power over here in the cushy chair. Now I just gotta find a way to like not bump this thing all up. I can do it. I can do it. It'll fit. It'll fit. Just go. The problem is it didn't turn on. Why didn't it turn on? Where are you? Let me if I can wake this up. See if that helps it. Still nothing? What kind of charger is this? What kind of world we live in nowadays? Doesn't do nothing. Okay, rabbit, what's going on here? I think we got juice, finally. Gotta have that power. Time. It says, here's a random question we got from Mr. Fees. He says, I don't remember who makes it, but there's a bracket so you can mount the opener on the side, horizontal, along the rail. I don't know if I've ever seen, I have seen, I know I've seen an opener on the wall before. I feel like I've seen a chain sprocket, which was really dangerous, but I don't know, Freeze. Man, you really stumped me on that. That's a good one. That's a great question. I thought it was a stand door. I was wrong. Oh, man. Tony says, been there, done that. I think we all have. I think that's what makes us, we get better over time and we learn. I know I have a lot of mistakes myself, you know, but I think that's why you just become very, like, in the moment you go, man, I gotta be very thorough about this. Eric Guy says, calculating high lift doors, always troubling when they're to get the maximum headroom out of their warehouse. Eric, I'm surprised you don't have a, bring you guys down just a touch here. I feel like I'm up high. Like, I don't know if, I don't know. I guess I'm wondering, like, where's your support on this? Like, you can need a vendor or you need secretary, or because for us, just because we got such an amazing secretary, it's a very easy calculation. I think that they even send it in to the vendor, right? You give them floor to ceiling. I've used like the lasers a lot. I got even a tripod thing. I should show you guys sometime. That I bought. That's a mechanical. I think it's from Japan actually, is where I ordered it from. But it's made to measure really high distances, and it's almost like a tape measure, but it's built in reels, and it'll tell you with a stick. I think it's actually made for like telephone poles and stuff like that. But it's always nice when the building is built. That's the best. And you can come in there with concrete. I mean, I wish in a nutshell, all commercial buildings, right? But everybody wants to get the stuff on order for, and then everything seems like elevations change, you know, sometimes 6 inches, a foot, 2 foot, whatever it is. But they need to build the building. The concrete needs to be put in, and we could come in and do our job and say, yes, you're going to have to wait another 2 to 3 weeks, maybe 4, for the doors to come in, add it on, you know what I mean? But at least you're going to be right, because there's nothing worse. I've been up that, you know, we've installed doors, and it's like the customer comes in and they're like, you think you could get that up another foot? And I'm like, it's not that easy. Not that easy. Like, you know how much cutting and grinding and cables and springs, like, it's just not that easy. It ain't like the Legos, and we just add another piece to it. It's like there's a whole list of things that need to happen here. And so it's like, what you should have done is we should have waited until your building was up, but then you're going to cry because people are going to come in here and steal things. Referring to freezer question, freezes question, that is a tough one. He says, I'll find a picture and send it to you. All right. Thanks, Rich. I'd love to see that. Heck yeah. They actually make a, what is this? Make a zap opener that mounts to a vertical track on door. Is that what it's called? Zap opener? I never even heard of that. I feel like I've seen a video, but I don't know if that was for them actually. Oh yeah, it says I've installed those on certain doors and didn't have any place to mount an opener. There is a track mounted opener. So Rich has got, he says those Bostitch. I've had really good luck. I tell you what, they don't endorse me or pay me or anything, but the Bostitch, the little ones, little blue ones. So if anybody's ever thinking about getting one of those lasers, pretty, I think you can buy them at like Lowe's. That's where I think I got mine. And to tell you kind of how good they are, I had one that for some reason got to the golf cart, and the kids decided to take it for a tool through the field. It fell out of the golf cart. Had to be gone for probably about 2 or 3 weeks. I finally said, you got to have my laser. Had to go buy another one, right? It sat through probably at least a year and maybe about 3 months is my guess. And I found it in the field, and it was full of a little bit of moisture in it. I said, this thing's junk. I said, this thing, and I thought, well, I'll at least try it. Threw some batteries in it. The batteries had a little corrosion on them. And that darn thing worked. And I still use it this day for the cats, for a laser. And it still works. I mean, everything I point at, I tested it with other one. It's accurate. I'm thinking, dang, man, that's a pretty good little laser for it to sit out in the weather, you know, through snow and rain and everything. And the darn thing's to life. And so now I got 2, but the one always stays as a cat laser. So yes, the buttons. I bought another one. I think it was a Johnson. I think it was called. Paid a lot of money for it. I think I bought it from Ranger. I thought, oh, this one, you know, because it was very stupid. And the reason I got sold on it is I seen a builder. It was very slim at Bostitch, and he's like, he was using it, and it looked so easy to use. Where my, I think, like I said, it was a Johnson, I believe. It was big, as bulky, had like a pouch for your belt. It had different settings on it. It was always, I always was fumbling with it. I never trusted it. I spent a lot of money. It was junk. And so there you go. That's my little 2 cents. This is Freeze. He says, I got another question. Do you ever carry out All-Star MPVs? He said, I need some sensors, wall panels, light covers, remote, code pad, etc. Well, if we do, like I said, I can always send them out to you or whatever. We don't really see them. We had an area that was over by the lakeshore that was a lot of those in there. And we were always like real hit and miss. It was like we were friends and then we weren't friends. Then we were friends and we weren't friends. It was always weird being there. But it was because they had Wayne Dalton doors. Like we'd go in there and we'd leave. It was always like a weird relationship. Like I never could find out who was in charge or like, you know, why are we here? It was just like random calls. Can you come fix this? Okay. And, but they had a lot of them, all of them. And this whole, it was like a mini subdivision. They had a ton of them. And he said, if I ever come across some, I can let you know. Because I know what you mean. Those covers they normally will put too bright of light bulbs in them, burns them up. They get brittle. They rattle, hit the ground. That's always the worst. Oh my gosh, I've been there. You know, opener, you go to put the cover on, you hit the button right, and the opener cover falls and just shatters. And you're like, what am I going to do? How am I going to fix this? Like, and you're like the customer, and you're like, I'm so screwed. Would you like a free opener? How about I just give you a free opener? You know, so you got to be careful of those. I mean, that's why you might want a little duct tape or something on the truss. Just a little extra insurance, just to have a little, just, you know, at least to give it a couple days after you leave. You know what I mean? I can send you a video of a zap. Heck yeah, send me one. I don't know. Like I said, the zap, I'm thinking bug zapper is all I'm thinking. I don't think I've ever seen one. That's the one, he says. Nice. That's what Rich says. You have all a good night. It was a pleasure chatting with everyone. I had a great time. Stay safe. Oh, is Rich sending me something? Oh yeah, Rich, that's it, baby. I wish I could. I don't think I can share it. Plus, I don't know if I'd share your number. I don't want to be that. What's this thing show? Let me push some buttons while we're kind of getting towards the end here. Let's just see what this does. It says highlighted, save to channel. Okay, that I don't know if that just is something. If I voice thing turns my voice off. Nope, that's not gonna do nothing. Darn, I wish I could share pictures on a live. How do I get off this now? Hey, whatever this is. Let me try something while we're just here. Thanks, Eric. It was a pleasure. I'm glad you're here. Like I said, I hope we can talk again. Like I said, shoot me up, email or text. Send me so you get a chance. Had a great stay safe, brothers. That's awesome. I have been tearing them out apart to try to develop my custom openers. Nice. I just seen a share button. You go the rally. Oh, in Grand Rapids? I should have. I was really surprised that I kind of didn't even really know. I heard it last minute. It was kind of like oh, I didn't go. I'm glad. It sounds like nothing. At least I'm glad here nothing happened. It sounded like nothing bad, and I'm sure it was plenty of people. I'm hoping. I hope it worked out good, for everybody there. Chat filter. I'm sorry. I'm just playing around here. I'm looking for seeing if I can. Okay, so there's a share button. Let me try this for a second. Maybe I'll still be here. Maybe not. I'm still gonna yak away. I just want to try something, just to learn. I'm still here. Could you even hear me? Could you hear me the whole time? You're gonna have to let me know. Help me out, because I just went to Rich and I got his picture. So I'm gonna see if I can do. I might screw things up here. I really apologize. We'll do side mount. Who's sending that? Copy. Nope, I can't. It just is for somebody else. God darn it. Says I couldn't. Okay, so I blanked out. You couldn't hear me. Okay, it didn't work anyways. I went to share. I thought I could share it on the screen. I just took I downloaded Rich's picture he sent me, and I couldn't do it. So maybe what I'll do is I'll try to start using my I'll use my other phone, and then what I can do is I can have maybe. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want Rich getting a bunch of crazy women calling him at night, because that's what happens when you go on here. You get a bunch of women calling you. I'm just joking. Everything's good. Sounds good. Everything's good. Tony, you enjoying that chair? Tony's got a really nice, relaxing chair that he has to rub in my face because I don't have one. Send me a picture of those side mounts. I'll check them out. I try not to jump on there when I'm on the live because obviously nobody can hear me, or sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. Because when I hit it, like I said, you guys go blink and I'm like, did I just cancel it? Like, oh no, But anywho, I'm gonna hop off here anyways. Probably should get some sleep. Eric's still here. He was supposed to go night, and he's still here. God darn it. The app opener is not good on big doors. It's also pressure sensitive, so you need to install spring stops on the horizontals. Ooh, I'm glad you at least put that in there. That's good to know, because you know how it is though. It's never good on doors. So always torque them when you're on the night and stuff like that. They get goopy. That's right, Tony. We work tomorrow. All right, guys. I'm heading out. Thanks for being here. I love y'all. Make sure you keep your fingers. Be safe out there. If you got anything, shoot me up, text me, email. Keep me in the loop. Let me know if you got anything going on. If you got any questions or whatever. I'm here because of you guys, and I'm glad you guys are here. So have a good night. Stay safe. We'll see you on the next video.